Hello everyone, welcome back. Earlier this week, I saw a video from Caitlin's library over on TikTok, or the world of book talk on TikTok, talking about an author who had the sentence in her book, and I shit you not, I swear the bed was crafted out of the foreskin of newborn babies. It was so comfortable. End of quotes. What is happening recently? First, it was Tory Woods talking about an adult having feelings for a 3-year-old, and now this. So let's take a look at the TikTok together that kind of just sparked this whole video.
On today's episode of Authors Behaving Poorly, we have an author comparing the softness of her FMC's mattress to a baby's foreskin. Yeah, you heard that right. Here is the snippet.
Authors Behaving Badly. That literally is what I should call this video. Such a good title. So thank you, Caitlin. I might have to borrow that one for this video. Okay, we will pause to read. So it says, "And the stupid bed Wyatt bought me gives me the best sleep of my life. I swear it was crafted out the foreskin of newborn babies. It's so comfortable. Not that foreskin is comfortable. I wouldn't know, I guess. But I venture to bet it's soft. Adult penis is... Adult penis skin is crazy soft, at least from what I remember of it. It's been a while since I've touched a penis." Even without context, this is not a good sentence. Like, what?
And as if that's not gross enough, the author responded to this post on Threads with this. Pause to read, and then I will talk about it.
So the author is Amy Daws, and this is Amy Daws' author over on Threads. So this is in response to the screenshot we just looked at that someone had been like, what the fuck is this? Amy says, "Probably a bad idea to reply to this thread, but since it's about me, I can't help myself. First of all, it'd be nice if you showed the whole excerpt. The female main character says at the end, 'Boy, this analogy really got away from me.' So I think that's slightly valid context. Secondly, you're right, the joke is off colour. I don't have a defence other than the fact that I was in the writing flow and it felt random, wacky, and fitting with the female main character's weird train of thought." She goes on to say, "It's no excuse, but it's the only explanation I have. I'm working on pulling it from the editions we can, but it's just one of the nonsense, bizarre, intrusive thought moments the female main character has. Regardless, I can understand why it gives people the ick. I've been an author for a while and made a lot of jokes. This one isn't a good one. That's all I can say for myself. I'm sorry for anyone who can't see past it, and I'm grateful to anyone who can. Creativity is a weird beast that goes off beat sometimes."
So the author says that right after this snippet that the reader showed, the main character is saying to herself, "Oh, that was a weird joke. It got away from me." And then the author in her comments responding to this post are saying that it's just the FMC's quirky, intrusive thoughts. Now, as someone who has OCD and has intrusive thoughts, they're not quirky, silly little things. Intrusive thoughts are scary. So if this was really an intrusive thought, the main female character should have then been like, "Whoa, that was scary. That was gross." She should have recognized that that was wrong, not, "Oh, I'm so quirky and silly." Intrusive thoughts already get lumped in with impulsive thoughts, which completely diminishes the intensity and severity of intrusive thoughts of people with OCD. So the author is saying that this was just a silly little quirky intrusive thought that this main character had is just so messed up. And also, that's not the kind of thing that someone with intrusive thoughts would think about. They wouldn't compare their, no. And in this author's comment, she's saying that she's working on revising it out of the book and that not all of her jokes land and this one just didn't land. And it's like, on what earth would you think that would land? That's weird as fuck. And the author's last little comment that says creativity can get offbeat sometimes. I just find it weird that a soft mattress in any way, shape, or form would make someone think about a baby's foreskin. I don't know if I will ever understand that train of thought. That's not what intrusive thoughts are. Intrusive thoughts, like I said earlier, are scary. They scare people. They scare me. They're not silly, quirky, "Oh, I'm so weird." They're scary.
Honestly, I like bringing you book talk drama because also I kind of love the drama too. Kind of getting a little bit sick of babies being brought into books in such strange ways. Also, I'm not a fan of the pregnancy trope. I don't want kids. Not a fan of them. When people bring up things about kids in books, I'm just like, DNF. No, I'm joking. So I did go and find the actual threads, and I was reading some of the comments that people have put on here, and I think it's quite good to discuss like how you feel about an author calling this out or addressing it, about an author perhaps even responding at all to comments about their books or them. So this person said here, about you, did I miss the part where she tagged you specifically, or did you just come to a reader's, well, it's not quote, sorry, it's in caps, reader's space to share something that gave her the ick? Come on now, we're still doing this. One person's opinion does not need explaining. And then someone just said, it's her book, you're missing the point. And that person says again, I didn't, she wasn't tagged. She could have kept moving and let the reader share their thoughts without needing the author giving an explanation that wasn't asked for. So the reader responds saying, so she's supposed to ignore when people are taking something she wrote out of context, and she said, kind of regrets writing it. She doesn't have to be tagged to respond to something about her work. She's a human being. If the person doesn't want a response, don't share it? Question mark. I guess they're talking about the author coming into the reader's space. Is that a thing? I know that obviously there have been times where authors have commented on reviews on like Goodreads that have been quite shocking. There actually was a time when an author, I think, really belittled someone who gave their book a bad review and like got them banned from the site and things. So this is actually from the book The 9-Month Contract by Amy Daws. And this author does seem to be quite a well-respected author, and they've got quite a lot of published work. So this was published in April of 2024, so it's actually not that new. Okay, so a bit about this book. Help wanted. Grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama. Job as an incubator position only. Surrogate must be impervious to grunting in the form of communication and nosy brotherly neighbours. Rustic mountain range housing available upon request. I wanted to pummel my irritating brothers when they posted their own version of a wanted ad to help with my life. But I can't help fault the results once the right woman lands in my lap. Becoming a single father is not a decision I made lightly. In fact, it's the biggest decision of my life. Which is why when I interviewed Trista, I know she's perfect. She's wild, she's opinionated, she wears cowboy boots. Even my pet goat loves her. She's the exact type of person I was holding out for. And to my great horror, I realised on our first night of attempting this baby-making dance, when the lights are low, the cheap wine is flowing, and the home insemination supplies are laid out on the kitchen counter, I want to do a lot more than just make her my surrogate. I want to make her mine. This is my worst nightmare of a book. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not baby making. Not babies. Not into it. No. I can see why people like it. I hope I don't offend anybody. For me, kids is a no. Even when I was reading ACOTAR, and oh no, I don't want to spoil it. But anyway, someone gets pregnant in ACOTAR, and I nearly just thought, fuck it, I'm stopping right here. I can't do it. I can't. Absolutely zero interest. I'm so sorry. So some of the other responses on the thread, this reader says here, it's screwed up to have even thought something like this. Like seriously, get some therapy level. But the way you structure sentences has actually put me off more than the topic. I don't know about having a go at their actual like how their writing style is, but I understand like having a go at that topic. This is so embarrassing for you. You were right. It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. I think that slightly valid context is the author's version of, it's just a joke, don't be so sensitive. Yeah. Wacky and fitting are not the words I would use to describe this excerpt. What the fuck? How is it a joke? It's not just off color, it's downright weird. Baby's genitals shouldn't be talked about in this context at all, and honestly, I don't understand why your mind went to that. Your attempt to explain doesn't help here. It comes off as dismissive and doesn't actually take any responsibility. And then the last reader said, interesting how instead of saying you're actually sorry, you're shifting the blame onto the people who can't see past it for not being able to. What a cop-out, do better. The rest of the book might be really good, and if you're into the breeding trope, the pregnancy trope, then you might really enjoy this book. But this is a no for me. I did also see someone likening this author, that excerpt, to something that Colleen Hoover wrote. Again, she's not an author that I'm interested in. Someone was giving birth in the back of a car or something. Were they on the way to the hospital? I don't know. I don't know the context. She's giving birth in the back of the seat, and she goes something like, he's got big balls, and he's like, yeah, like me. Something like that. It was so weird. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, I found it. This is just, since we're on the topic for some reason of babies. Well, thank you for this baby, she says in the backseat. He's beautiful. I laugh. You're responsible for the beautiful part, Rachel. The only thing he got from me was his balls. She laughs. She laughs hard. Oh my god, I know, she says. They're so big. We both laugh at our son's big balls. Anyway, that's in this video. I'm gonna go and take a walk. Anyway, subscribe for more, and I will see you all next week. Bye.